and release anything that isn't meant for you. All right, Aries, let's get into your reading. So, the message that I have for you today is this: unconditional love is headed straight toward you. There is a presence entering your life right now, and this presence carries no conditions and no limitations. This person wants to love you in a way that asks nothing in return, and they mean it. That is the energy wrapped around every card in front of me, and it is absolutely unmistakable. The cards bring forward a powerful confirmation today that this person has chosen you without any reservation. The love they carry for you is not performative. It is rooted in something raw and deeply genuine. They are not waiting for you to prove yourself worthy. They already decided you are long ago. Let us go ahead and get into it because the cards have plenty to confirm for you. Here is our first card, and it is Temperance, arriving at the very center of this energy. Temperance represents divine balance and patience, confirming that the love approaching you is measured and intentional. This card does not appear for rushed connections. It shows up when the foundation being built is sacred. Temperance tells me something significant. This person has been quietly preparing their heart for you all along. They are not approaching you impulsively. They are arriving with the kind of emotional maturity that lasts. The balance Temperance represents mirrors exactly what they want to create: a connection rooted in mutual exchange. Temperance confirms they are blending their life around yours deliberately, not losing themselves, but integrating with purpose. Their intention is to build something that feels equal, where both of you receive exactly what you give. This love does not announce itself loudly. It settles in quietly until you realize it never left. The next card coming through is the King of Cups, and this confirms the emotional depth behind it. The King of Cups is the most emotionally intelligent card in the deck, representing mastery over feelings. What it reveals is that their love originates from a place of emotional wholeness, not from need. This person is not offering love from a place of lack. They are offering it from abundance. The King of Cups confirms they have done the internal work necessary to hold your heart with care. They understand that loving you means showing up consistently, not just during the convenient or comfortable moments. Their emotional reservoir runs deep, and they intend to draw from it generously every time you need them. The King of Cups does not offer love that fluctuates with mood. This is steady and unwavering devotion. What separates this connection from anything you experienced before is the maturity woven through every interaction. They are not here to take from you. They are here to replenish everything that was drained before. Then we have the Two of Wands, validating exactly why this message is arriving for you right now. The Two of Wands represents foresight and planning, confirming this person already envisions a future with you. They are not daydreaming aimlessly. They have mapped out how they want to show up for your life. The Two of Wands tells me their love comes paired with vision, purpose, and clear directional energy. This is not a passive feeling they sit with. It is an active decision they already made. The Two of Wands confirms their feelings crossed the threshold from interest into unshakable and permanent commitment. They look at you and see potential that extends far beyond the present, a partnership that evolves. Their vision for this connection is not vague or hypothetical. It is detailed and includes your permanent presence. Every signal the cards give today points toward a love that is deliberate, structured, and emotionally secure. The reason this message arrived today is undeniable. The timing has aligned for you to finally receive it. This person is not offering love as an experiment. They are offering it as a permanent residence. What makes their devotion unconditional is that it exists without a checklist, without demands, and without expiration. Okay, let us come in close today because the cards are turning their attention fully toward you. Your emotional landscape has been carrying a weight you rarely acknowledge, and the cards see all of it. You have trained yourself to function under pressure so well that nobody around you notices the strain. There is a quiet ache living inside your chest, one you normalized because naming it feels too vulnerable. You crave something you convinced yourself might not exist, and that internal negotiation exhausts you constantly. The desire for love that requires no performance from you, that is the deepest longing the cards detect. You spent years adjusting yourself to fit what others needed, and that pattern left marks on you. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that being loved meant being useful, and that belief lingers. Here is our first card for your side, and it is the Hermit, stepping forward with quiet significance. The Hermit represents solitude and inner searching, confirming you have been doing deep work in isolation. You retreated inward not because you gave up, but because the noise drowned out your own voice. The Hermit tells me you needed distance from expectations, just to remember what your own actually were. Your solitude was never about hiding, it was about recalibrating what you are willing to accept moving forward. What the Hermit reveals is significant. Your inner world matured faster than your outer circumstances reflect. You already know what you deserve. The gap lives between that knowing and allowing yourself to receive it. The Hermit confirms that your standards elevated quietly, and now very little from the outside matches them. That is not pickiness. That is evolution. And the cards want you to understand the difference clearly. You feel isolated by your own growth sometimes, like the version of you that emerged is too much. There is a fear in you that receiving love fully means lowering a guard you built to survive. The next card coming through is the Queen of Swords, and this one mirrors your intellectual armor. The Queen of Swords represents clarity through experience, confirming that your mind leads before your heart follows. You analyze every emotional situation before entering it, filtering potential through logic rather than allowing instinct in. The Queen of Swords tells me your sharpness protects you, but it also prevents softness from reaching you. You master the art of emotional composure, and that mastery sometimes becomes a wall disguised as strength. What the cards see is a person who craves tenderness, but only trusts it after extensive cross examination. Your intelligence is not the problem. The problem is that it intercepts every feeling before you experience it. The Queen of Swords confirms you filter love through skepticism, not by choice, but because you learned to. Every past disappointment installed another checkpoint in your emotional process, and now entry requires more than intention. You are tired of screening everything, and that fatigue is actually a sign that your heart is ready. Your defenses served their purpose beautifully, but now they are starting to cost more than they protect. The exhaustion you feel is not from lacking love, it is from the effort of keeping it away. Then we have the Five of Pentacles, and this card speaks directly to the scarcity you carry inside. The Five of Pentacles represents lack and exclusion, confirming a deep belief that love consistently bypasses you. You watched others receive what you quietly wanted, and that observation planted seeds of unworthiness inside you. The Five of Pentacles tells me you feel like love runs out long before it ever reaches you. That belief is not truth. It is a scar from experiences that taught you to expect less. Your heart has been operating from a deficit mindset, rationing hope because spending it freely felt too risky. Nobody taught you that love could arrive without a cost attached, and that missing lesson shaped everything. The Five of Pentacles confirms that the coldness you feel is not your destiny, it is your wound. You deserve warmth that does not require begging. Now, let us see what the cards are showing, because their inner world tells a vastly different story. What lives inside this person is a devotion so consuming it dictates the rhythm of their entire day. They carry you in a compartment of their mind, one that nothing else is allowed to occupy. Their emotional state revolves around you in ways they would never admit to another living soul. Every thought about you arrives uninvited, lingers without permission, and refuses to dissolve no matter what. This person is not casually interested. They are completely entangled in something they did not plan for. The depth of what they feel caught them off guard, and they are still adjusting to its weight. They did not choose to feel this intensely. It overtook them gradually until escape became impossible. Here is our first card for their side, and it is the Devil, arriving with raw, undeniable intensity. The Devil represents obsession and deep attachment, confirming this person is emotionally bound to you completely. Their attachment is not casual or surface level. It operates at a compulsive and involuntary depth. The Devil tells me they think about you in loops, cycling through fantasies and fears relentlessly. They cannot shut off what they feel, and every attempt to moderate it only amplifies the pull. What the Devil reveals is that their connection to you bypasses logic, existing somewhere rationality cannot reach. The Devil confirms they feel chained to what you represent, not with resentment, but with full surrender. Their desire for you carries a territorial quality. They want to be your only viable option. They struggle with wanting one specific person this intensely because it strips away every layer of control. Their pride resists the idea that anyone holds this much influence over them, yet here they are. The intensity frightens them because it reveals a capacity for love they never knew they possessed until you. The obsession is not unhealthy in nature. It is the byproduct of encountering a connection they always craved. The next card coming through is the Six of Cups, revealing the nostalgic root behind everything. The Six of Cups represents emotional memory, confirming that something about you triggered a profound recognition. You remind them of a version of love they tasted early in life, one that felt effortlessly safe. That memory is the blueprint their heart has been searching for, and your presence activated it without warning. The Six of Cups tells me they feel like they have known you before, though logic cannot explain. Their emotional response to you is layered with familiarity, like returning to a home they forgot existed. What they feel is not new. It is ancient recognition resurfacing through your presence in their current life. They cannot articulate why you feel so familiar, but their soul responds to you like a prayer answered. The Six of Cups confirms they associate you with emotional safety, a quality they stopped expecting from anyone. Their nostalgia exists in real time. They miss you even while you are standing right beside them. The ache they carry is not about distance. It is about knowing that closeness still has uncrossed boundaries. Then we have the Page of Pentacles, and this card speaks to the quiet devotion beneath their surface. The Page of Pentacles represents careful study and dedication, confirming they observe everything about you with precision. They memorize your patterns and preferences, cataloging details others overlook because nothing about you is minor. The Page of Pentacles tells me their love expresses itself through attention, not grand declarations, but meticulous noticing. They track the shifts in your mood before you verbalize them, because studying you has become instinctive. Their devotion is not loud, it is architectural, quietly building a structure designed to hold your entire world. What the Page of Pentacles confirms is that their commitment operates beneath visibility, working silently toward permanence. They invest in understanding you thoroughly, the way a scholar invests in a subject they plan to study. Every detail they absorb becomes another brick in their foundation, quietly constructing something meant for you both. This person's inner world is consumed by you, organized around you, and devoted to you. So let us go into it because the cards reveal exactly what this person is preparing to do. The internal processing is over for them, and what follows is a series of deliberate and visible moves. They have reached the point where inaction feels more dangerous than vulnerability, and that shift changes everything. What the cards confirm is clear. This person is actively transitioning from silent observer to active participant. The planning phase has concluded inside their mind, and execution is the only thing left on their agenda. Here is our first card, and it is the Three of Pentacles, stepping forward with collaborative energy. The Three of Pentacles represents teamwork and building together, confirming they plan to include you in their vision. Their next move involves creating opportunities for shared experience, situations where proximity feels entirely natural and unforced. The Three of Pentacles tells me they will engineer moments where you both are working towards something. Expect invitations that feel practical on the surface, but are designed to position you closer within their world. They are constructing a framework where your lives begin to overlap, one intentional touch point at a time. This card confirms their approach is strategic. They are not leaving your next interaction to random chance. They have already identified the entry point, and they plan to use it within a very short window. The Three of Pentacles also tells me they will demonstrate their value through contribution, not declaration. Their actions will speak in a language that words have failed to deliver, and they know that precisely. They intend to prove reliability by showing up in tangible ways, offering support before you even request it. The foundation they are laying is not theoretical. It is physical and present and designed for you. Their actions in the coming days will carry a consistency, one that separates them from everything you experienced. The next card coming through is the Knight of Wands, and this confirms the urgency behind their movement. The Knight of Wands represents fast action and bold pursuit, telling me this person is done with hesitation. Their pace will accelerate noticeably, and the change will be visible enough that you cannot miss it. The Knight of Wands tells me they will initiate contact with a confidence you have not witnessed before. Their communication will become more direct, more intentional, and stripped of the ambiguity that defined past exchanges. Expect them to say things that feel surprisingly forward because they have crossed their own internal threshold. The Knight of Wands confirms their energy will arrive with momentum, not gradually, but with noticeable force. They are no longer testing the waters. They are diving in with full commitment to whatever follows. Their boldness will catch you off guard because the version of them approaching you is upgraded and resolute. The Knight of Wands also reveals they will take a calculated risk, one they have been preparing. That risk involves making their interest undeniable, leaving no room for misinterpretation in how they present themselves. The window they have been waiting for is opening, and they have no intention of letting it close. Then we have the Chariot, and this card seals the certainty of their forward movement with absolute finality. The Chariot represents willpower and determined progress, confirming they have already chosen their direction and it includes you. Nothing will derail their approach once they begin, because the Chariot carries the energy of unstoppable resolve. The Chariot tells me they will overcome every remaining obstacle between where they stand and where you are. Whether that obstacle is distance, timing, or their own remaining doubt, they plan to drive straight through it. Their movement will feel purposeful and unwavering, like a person who finally knows exactly what they want. The Chariot does not allow detours or second guessing, and neither will they from this moment forward. The Chariot confirms they are consolidating every scattered intention into one focused and directed pursuit of you. Their next actions will not be tentative or experimental. They will carry the weight of a final decision. What unfolds from here is a person arriving at your door with clarity, conviction, and zero hesitation left. Okay, let us dive into this because what the cards expose now lives beneath every surface. These are the words this person buries before they reach daylight, the confessions they lock inside their ribs. They hold an entire language of longing that never makes it past their throat, and it consumes them. The truths hiding beneath their composure would rewrite everything you believe about where you stand with them. What they suppress daily is not mild attraction. It is a declaration so complete it terrifies their mind. They rehearse honesty in the mirror and abandon it before the first sentence ever fully forms. Here is our first card. It is the Ace of Wands burning at the core of their silence. The Ace of Wands represents raw desire and primal creative force, confirming what they suppress is volcanic. Their hidden confession begins here. They want you with a hunger that embarrasses their rational mind. The Ace of Wands tells me their desire for you is not polite. It is feral and consuming. They fantasize about telling you exactly what you do to them, but the vulnerability of that paralyzes. What they want to confess is that you awakened something dormant, a fire they thought was permanently extinct. The Ace of Wands confirms their passion operates at a frequency, one they have never experienced before. They burn for you in silence, carrying an intensity that colors every interaction without you ever knowing. Their body responds to your proximity before their brain catches up, and they work overtime to mask it. The confession they bury deepest is physical. They ache for closeness in ways words cannot contain. They want to know what it feels like to stop performing composure and simply dissolve into you completely. The Ace of Wands confirms that their desire is not recreational, it is existential, and it defines them. The next card coming through is the World, revealing the full scope of what they secretly desire. The World represents completion and fulfillment, confirming that their hidden wish is total union with you. They do not want a fraction of you. They want the entire unedited version without a single filter. The World tells me their secret desire is to be your permanent home, where you always return. They confess silently that they want to be your ending, the last person who ever occupies that role. What the World reveals is that their desire extends beyond romance. They want to merge entire lifetimes. They imagine growing old beside you, and that fantasy carries more weight than any present reality currently offers. The World confirms they already consider you their missing piece, the one absence that made everything feel incomplete. Their unspoken truth is that finding you felt like arriving, somewhere they were always supposed to be. They confess internally that every relationship before you was preparation, and you are the destination those roads built. They carry guilt about how possessive their inner dialogue becomes when they imagine losing you to anyone. The jealousy they mask is not controlling. It is the desperate reflex of a heart that found home. Then we have the Nine of Swords. and this card exposes the anxiety beneath their quiet exterior. The Nine of Swords represents sleepless worry and mental torment, confirming their unspoken fears consume their nights. They lie awake, calculating every possible outcome, terrified that the version where you leave is the likeliest. The Nine of Swords tells me their deepest confession is fear, not of you, but of deserving you. They question in darkness whether they are enough, whether their love can sustain what their heart promised. The anxiety they hide is rooted in one devastating question. What if you discover who they really are? Their mind weaponizes every insecurity at night, convincing them that your love has conditions they will eventually fail. Not a flaw they are hiding, but the raw, unpolished version of themselves they believe is unlovable. Their final unspoken confession is the most vulnerable of all. They need you to choose them specifically. The weight of that need sits on their chest every single day, and they tell absolutely no one. Not as a default or convenience, but as a deliberate and irreversible selection above every other option. The cards confirm what they will never say aloud. You are their deepest wish and greatest fear combined. Now, let us go ahead and get into it, because the cards reveal what the near future holds. Here is our first card for what unfolds next, and it is the Magician, arriving with transformative power. The Magician represents manifestation and aligned intention, confirming that everything shifts in your favor from this point. The near future brings a moment where this person drops every remaining barrier and speaks with raw clarity. That conversation will feel like a turning point because it carries the weight of everything they held back. The Magician confirms that what manifests between you next is not gradual. It arrives fully formed and undeniable. You will witness a version of them you have never encountered, one that is open and completely unguarded. The energy surrounding your connection begins to solidify, moving from potential into something tangible and mutually acknowledged. The Magician also confirms that timing aligns in your favor, and what felt stalled before now accelerates visibly. Then we have Strength, and this card confirms that the near future demands gentle courage from both sides. Strength represents quiet resilience and compassion, telling me the path forward requires patience wrapped in deep trust. The near future does not demand force. It asks for softness that only real confidence provides. Strength confirms that what approaches you is sustainable, built on a foundation that weathers storms without cracking. Expect the energy between you to feel calmer and more aligned, as if something invisible clicked. The coming weeks bring a warmth into this connection, replacing every cold stretch you endured before. Now for the advice, and the cards are very precise about what they need you to receive. Allow yourself to be loved without managing it, without controlling its speed or questioning its every motive. Your instinct to protect yourself is valid, but the cards ask you to soften it enough to receive. Do not rehearse rejection before it arrives, because what approaches you has no intention